What's up guys, we are continuing our Sandrone constellation coverage. In today's video, we are going to answer an important question. What's the best investment? Sandrone's constellations, her signature weapon, or something else entirely? The answer depends on your current level of investment, so pay close attention. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and if you find this video useful, please consider subscribing to support the channel. Obviously, if you don't have Sandrone, your first priority is getting Sandrone. But then comes the next question. I still have Primogems. Should I go for her signature weapon or her constellation one? Before answering that, we need to determine whether you have Jaimiko on the team or not. This is important because in version 6.7, Jaimiko is expected to be the best stellar conduct sub-DPS. If you don't have Jaimiko, there are alternatives like Shilonen or Sucrose, and honestly, Sucrose is surprisingly valuable because she provides elemental mastery. Believe it or not, that matters quite a bit up to a certain point, but that's a topic for another video. Let's say your team is Sandrone, Sucrose, Titi, and Beidou. Notice that Sandrone is by far the strongest unit on the team, and she's also the one whose damage is heavily revolves around a stellar conduct. In that situation, if your options are pull Sandrone's signature weapon, pull Sandrone's constellation 1, skip both and go for Jaimiko, the best option is her signature weapon. Why? Because it significantly increases the damage output of the team's primary damage dealer, while Sandrone's constellation 1 does improve her damage and grants stellar conduct damage bonus to the entire team. But if Sandrone is doing almost all of the team's damage anyway, that team-wide buff loses some value. Jaimiko's is definitely a strong upgrade, but if you're comparing a Constellation 0 Sandrone with her signature weapon against a Constellation 0 Sandrone using Wolf Gravestone, the overall results end up being fairly similar to going for a Constellation 1. So basically, in this scenario, there are two good answers. Go for Jaimiko's or Sandrone's signature weapon. Now let's look at another case. Suppose you already have both Sandrone C0 and Jaimiko. Your options now become Sandrone's signature weapon, Sandrone's Constellation 1, and Jaimiko's Constellation 1. Things get a little more interesting here. The weapon will improve the team's main source of damage, Sandrone, right? And her C1, Constellation 1, increase both her own damage and Jai's damage thanks to the 30% stellar conduct damage bonus for the entire team. However, Jaimiko's Constellation 1 provides 50% of that same bonus. As a result, there are essentially two optimal choices again. Either you pull Sandrone's signature weapon or pull Jaimiko's Constellation 1. The difference between them is extremely small, and both provide excellent DPS gains. That being said, this could change in the future. Why? Because future stellar conduct characters could completely alter the value of these upgrades. I can't tell you today which option will remain better because it will depend entirely on that future character's kit. For now though, the recommendation is simple. Jaimiko's Constellation 1 or Sandrone's signature weapon. Now let's move on to a more complicated scenario. You see, once the best option becomes Jaimiko Constellation 1 or Sandrone's signature weapon, the investment path starts breaching out. In other words, we're looking one investment level deeper. The results become much closer to each other, and at the same time, Sandrone's Constellation 2 is stronger than Constellation 1. And you have probably seen situations where it's actually better to go straight for the character's Constellation 2 rather than pulling their weapon. Fortunately, I tested all three possible investment routes: Sandrone Constellation 2, Sandrone's signature weapon, Jaimiko's Constellation 2. So there you have it. I can't provide much detailed information without confusing you, so maybe you can check and ask me on stream. Those are all the current investment path worth considering. For now, the strongest team appears to be Sandrone's, Jaimiko's, Titi, and Sucrose, but that's a discussion for another video. At least now you know where to invest your Primogens if you're looking to maximize Sandrone's performance. Just remember, A future character could completely change these recommendations, and when that happens, Poio will be here to help you figure it out. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to support me on social media, catch the streams on Kick, and I'll see you in the next time.